Welcome to the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite provides you with the support you need to finish your book. Best part is, after you finish your book, they take care of the entire publishing and marketing process 100% for you. So, if you want to become a successful author, make sure to check out authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today, I have Nate, the great Peterman. He is the millennial mover of this generation. At the age of 22, he owns Simba Marketing LLC, which specializes in making brands go viral online and with social media. Nate, the great Peterman, is also the host of the Roots of Success podcast that started February of this year. And the Roots of Success podcast is where he interviews people who have been in a struggle in their life and transformed into a successful entrepreneur or public figure. So welcome to the show, man.
Hey, appreciate you having me on, Tyler.
Of course, man. Pumped to have you here. Let's jump into the first one, Nate. The first one I got for you is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Yeah, for sure. That's a really great question. I look at my life, and with me being 22 years old and, of course, having a business, I think a lot of people, they would look at that and, whenever I get asked, what do you do? I tell them that, and they sort of get a little bit surprised. And I would really say, like, one of the biggest things in my life that has really had a significant impact was whenever I was 16 years old. That was the year my parents, they got divorced. And that right there was when things really started to shift for me as a person. Instead of going to drugs or, just doing nothing with my time and just, going to snacks and junk food, I went to motivation and kind of looked up, the first ever YouTube by the name of Dr. Eric Thomas. And really from that YouTube video, really just gave me light on my situation. And that was really like the video that really just started and kickstarted my entire journey off, especially when it comes to surrounding yourself around the right people. So, yeah, man, that was definitely a huge moment for my life.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Eric Thomas is the man. Very cool.
He's got that passion, you feel me?
Oh, dude, yeah, he definitely does. If somebody doesn't feel his passion, there's something wrong, dude.
For sure. I sometimes question them.
Yeah, I would definitely question them. So very cool, brother. The next one I got for you, excited for your answer on this one, is, what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
Yeah, for sure. I think, we live in a very social world with, of course, Instagram, Facebook, all these social media platforms. And I get asked a lot since, I work with a lot of personality brands like real estate agents, speakers, entrepreneurs, music artists, models, and things like that. And one of the biggest things that they kind of don't understand at first is the power of actually, a personality brand. For example, a lot of them have businesses and they feel as if they should only promote their business, but I love to sit down with them and sort of just preach to them the importance of, this is exactly what you need to do with your brand. You need to put yourself out there more. I know you might be a little bit shy to record a potential video or even to put a picture of yourself up, but I love what I do because I get a chance to really just get a feel for where they're at in their life and an inner thing, like with where they're at. And I really get to just, put them on when it comes to actually, looking at some of their weaknesses and things and kind of seeing how I can progress and make them better when it comes not just to business, but for sure within their personal life. And yeah, man, for sure, like personal brands, that is absolutely huge. If you have a personal brand and you feel as if you might be struggling, I highly recommend just taking some time, getting a notebook, pen, jotting down, your top 3 areas of expertise and what you're passionate about. And then just simply getting your phone, recording a couple of videos, and then putting content out there. Because again, anybody can put content out, but nobody can truly, really replicate who you are as a person. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude. And I think I think it's becoming more and more obvious as time goes on of how important it is. So I think what you're doing is great, man. The next one I have for you is, what is your best piece of overall business advice? So not necessarily industry specific.
Yeah, for sure. Overall business advice, I'd really just recommend failing, to be honest. I know it sounds a little bit cliche, but with me being 22, I've definitely failed countless times, especially over my marketing career, which really hasn't been that long. It's only been a year and a half, and I think that right there is like a testament to itself. Because whenever you're willing to fail and you're not scared to fail, that's where you're going to grow the most. I feel like a lot of people, they kind of let their ego get in the way of things before even going out and trying what it is that they want to do, like writing that book, starting that business. They sort of get held back. So I recommend, it's kind of two tips, just starting with what it is that you want to do, because again, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? And then second, don't be afraid to fail, because when you fail, that's where you're going to get uncomfortable. And when you get uncomfortable, that's where you're going to grow, whether it's in business, but more or less, really just in your personal life, which can really help you scale up, just as a person, to be honest.
And if you could give, I know you're only 22, but if you could give even your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I love that question. So naturally, Tyler, I was super introverted back in high school. And if I could give myself, that advice, I would definitely say, hey, Nate, you got to wake up. You got to network with other people here. High school, there's pros and cons about it, but you for sure just got to network with the people that are around you, right? You can't classify, like the geek squad, the jock squad. Like, you just got to do your thing, get along with everybody. I was a kid in high school, Tyler. To be honest, I got criticized a lot for me just watching motivational videos, like something as simple as that. People thought I was a lunatic, but for sure, like, I feel as if I would have had more of an opportunity to, network with other people, even try out some more school sports, to be honest. I was always a big competitor. I still am a really big competitor, to say the least. I mean, if you ever catch me playing some Uno with you, hey, watch out if I lose. But yeah, I mean, that's just some advice I'd give myself.
Dude, I love Uno. We got to play sometime, man. That
Oh, for
sounds
sure.
good.
You better watch out, though, man.
I know, dude. I'm ready now, man.
I got you.
That's awesome. So, besides Uno, in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
Key to happiness. That's a deep question. In my opinion, I think the key to happiness is, in your personal life. I mean, we live in a world where there's lots of things, lots of distractions that go on every single day. I feel as if when you're really, in tune, not just with yourself, but just the world all in one, like with nature, when you can literally look at that tree outside and feel its vibe and feel its energy, I really think that's one of the biggest keys to happiness. Because again, I mean, we live in a very technological age, and there's a lot of things in life that they really just distract us. I mean, some people can't go a minute without music playing. Some people can't go a minute without there having to be noise, right? But when you really just take that time for yourself, whether it's in a form of meditation, whether it's just going out, taking a walk, whatever it is, I really feel, in my opinion, that's for sure one of the best keys to truly becoming happy, especially with yourself. Absolutely.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
Yeah, best book. I mean, there's of course amazing books. I'm sure you've heard of them before. Of course, like Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those are great ones. But for sure, I'd say the more modern book that I really love and I apply and execute on the principles is by Jordan Belfort, The Way of the Wolf. And the reason I say that is because that deals with a lot of tonality. How one talks, right? So whenever I'm talking like this and I'm talking really loud, compared to whenever I talk like this, there's a level of suspense, right? There's little different things when it comes to tonality. There's different things when it comes to body language and really just overall persuasion. You know, People can have their opinions about Jordan Belfort, pros and cons. I mean, with what he did and everything, but I think we all can agree with his system. Of course, the straight line system. It's an incredible tool to utilize. He goes over it a little bit in that book, and it's just been a really big help, not just in business, but just for sure connecting with other people, and of course, building that instant rapport within a matter of seconds.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, no, his stuff is very good. I actually listened to that audiobook. I think it was feels like it was about a year ago. I guess that's when it came out. Like right when it came out, I listened to it. And it does have a lot of valuable information.
Heck yeah.
Next one is, what's your favorite quote and why?
Oh yeah, for sure. Favorite quote really was honestly one of the first ones I ever heard, and of course, it's by Eric Thomas himself. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I really feel like when people put that in perspective, like we breathe every single, not just day, but pretty much every single second, right? So it's like when you really think about that quote, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, so whatever it is that you want to do, write that book, start that business, maybe create, I'm not saying the next Apple, but something similar to that, right? And you really just get to work on that and you want it as bad as you want to breathe, I'm telling you, when you put that into perspective, you can absolutely do anything in this world. You can connect to anybody that you want to. But first, you just have to make that decision in your head to say, okay, I want this as bad as I want to breathe. So, yeah, man, not for sure.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for coming on, dude. The last one I have for you before we let you go is, where is the best place for people to find you online?
Yeah, for sure, Tyler. So, if you're looking to connect with me on a personal level, I definitely recommend. I'm very active on Instagram at Nate the Great. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, even at Twitter and Snapchat at Nate the Great Peterman. And then if you're looking to, of course, add another podcast playlist to your list, check out the Roots of Success podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud for audio version, and then the video version is, of course, on YouTube as well as Facebook. And then if you're looking to take your brand to the next level, and if you're, looking to really scale up, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, or you can check out our site, Simba Marketing with a Y.com, and then we'll for sure get back to you.
Perfect, man. Thanks again for jumping on.
Hey, appreciate you, Tyler.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.